This week on Down the Right Field Line, we're going to be talking about opening day, all the excitement that was surrounded around it, some of the ceremonies that went on, how the Marlins performing after opening day, find out our take on the Ozzie Guillen saga. All that and more coming up next. Welcome to the latest installment of Down the Right Field Line. So much excitement for this episode. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it. First things first, opening day was amazing. There was so much excitement walking around the ballpark. Unfortunately, we couldn't interview anybody because we had a little bit of trouble with our equipment getting into the ballpark. But we did film the entire pregame ceremony. There's going to be clips posted very soon, so check it out. There's probably a link right here. And just check it out and just see the excitement. If you were at that game, comment on this video and let us know what your thoughts were. But Rafi, did you get to see some of the ceremonies?
I got to see some of the ceremonies online after the ball game, and man, I was thrilled, a little choked up. I mean, it was something very special that I wish I could have been a part of, but in a way I felt like I was a part of it even though I wasn't there.
You know, the thing I kept thinking about is now we are established here, and this is the real opening day for the whole franchise. Because think about it, in 1993, opening day, who did you have on the mound? Charlie Huff. Now, the guy was a veteran, but that's not the type of ace you want on your mound. Now, this is the new opening day, the Miami Marlins. This is really when the franchise is coming out. Who do you have starting? Josh Johnson throws the first pitch in Miami Marlins history. Strike right down the middle, and the place just lit up. And then John Buck ran over and gave the ball to Jeffrey Loria, which was very appropriate, I thought. But there was so much excitement. Now, the only problem was Loesch had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. That was a huge problem. That really deflated a lot of the fans that were there. But then when Reyes got the first base hit in Miami Marlins history, the place again lit up. But, hopefully, once they go in there for their second home game, we see a lot of that excitement coming out again.
It would have been a travesty had the first game at the Marlins Park been a no-hitter. It would have been interesting, but still a travesty. And luckily, thank God, Jose Reyes knocked one into right field. And, well, that's that. But, it's only one game. And like you said, hopefully the second homestand or second home game, we'll have a lot more success.
There were a few moments on opening day that really gave me the chills, and one of them was they showed this whole video, and you can see it on the link right here again, and the part when they were talking about the stadium and everything, and then they set, and then the music started blaring, and then the roof started opening. And when that roof started opening, everybody started screaming to the top of their lungs, and I was getting goosebumps just because it was just epic the way that they had built up to that moment. And then the other time I got goosebumps was when they stretched out the American flag across the field, which you never saw that in the old stadium. In the old, you see it in all these big league stadiums, but you never saw that there because that was a football stadium. Opening day didn't feel right there. And now you have the huge flag stretched across the outfield, and you got chills. Then you had the flyover. Again, check it out on the video that we have attached here, and really feel the emotion out of that opening day. So a lot's been going on in the first week of the Miami Marlins season. One of the biggest topics we'll discuss here in a minute with Ozzie Guillen, but let's talk about the Marlins' performance on the field, which is the most important thing. their first week, they've been, you've seen ups and downs. You see some games where they can barely get a hit, can barely get a run, and you see some games where the speed's going and they're scoring runs like crazy. You're hitting home runs, and Fonte is in the top 5 in home runs, I think, week now into the season. So what's your early indication of the 2012 season? Do you see a lot of bumps in the road so far?
I see a little, trying to get used to it again. You had Stanton and Lomo out for an extended period in spring training like you did last season. So I think it's just that getting used to and getting back into baseball shape, baseball form, and just getting used to each other on the field and things like that. I mean, like you said, there's days where we can't hit a lick and it mirrors some of last year, and there's days where, like you said, you see Bonifacio and Reyes running around the field and around the bases, and it's all good. So my early indications are that there's no need to panic. It's early on in the season, and they'll be smooth sailing. Don't worry about it.
The Phillies' second game in Philadelphia just wrapped up, and Josh Johnson had another rough start. His ERA has ballooned 2 starts into the season. So it's a Josh Johnson we're not used to seeing. But then again, all over the Marlins roster, you're seeing a lot of things that you're not used to seeing. Bonifacio is having a great season so far. He's batting over 400. And Fonte, like we said, is hitting a lot of home runs. Second game in Philadelphia, he almost hit another home run. It was off the top of the wall. It could have been number 4. So just Hanley is up and down. Rafi, you mentioned that you're a little frustrated with him. Do you think that he's coming off last season well, if he's going to be able to bounce back from last season, or you think he's carrying some of that into this season?
Man, I thought I was able to read this guy. I can't read him. I mean, 1 minute it doesn't seem like anything's bothering him. The next, the at-bats mirror the at-bats from last season. And so now, I saw, I believe, the Sunday game against the Reds where the last play of the game where the Reds walked off, Hanley, I guess misplayed a ball or wasn't able to get to it, whatever. And the Reds won. As soon as he gets into the dugout, he goes like this and kind of winces. And I'm there like, come on. Now, I don't know if it's because he missed it and he wanted others to be like, oh, it's because of my shoulder, or it's really another shoulder issue. I hope that's not the case. I mean, he's been playing ever since then, and I haven't heard anything about it. But it's just one of those things that I see there that it frustrates me as a Hanley Ramirez fan and as a Marlins fan. It really frustrates me.
At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are always calling panic in April, and April is all about really bringing the spirit of the team together. You want to see a team unity. You want to see players trying to get consistent, not necessarily hitting a whole bunch of home runs or having an amazing April or anything like that. Because you look at years past, look at the Red Sox last year, barely missed the playoffs, yet they had a horrendous start of the season, and now they're doing the same this year. The Yankees, there's no indication that the Yankees are going to finish in last place, yet they're starting the season pretty poorly themselves. So I think, everybody just needs to stay with the team, fight through the rough stretches, which they're going to have like any other team would have. And we'll be back on the horse in no time. And you're seeing a lot of pieces fit in that you're just like, this team's going to be amazing, especially with Reyes and Bonifacio on the top of the lineup.
I mean, aside from JJ's performance, the rest of the rotation, I really have no complaints for the most part. I mean, Burley had a great game for his first start in Cincinnati. Ricky Nolasco surprised me with his outing, 8 innings. Zambrano, a little rough at the beginning of that start, and he ended up having a strong start. And we ended up losing the game, but whatever. And then Sanchi, it's early, but I'm very encouraged with what I saw. I'm very happy with what I saw from him. He was just attacking the strike zone and just doing his thing. And I really look forward to seeing more of Sanchez and his success, hopefully in 2012. But outside of JJ, which is understandable for some in some cases, I think is understandable. The rest of the rotation has just done fine.